Hey, what is up guys, Marsley here, back to do another video, and today I've got another game for you. It's going to be on Hampstead Gardens this time. I'm going to be playing as the GDI, and my opponent, well, I'm not quite sure what he is yet because it was a random mirror. Well, actually no, it wasn't. He picked Black Hand, I picked GDI, so we both knew our factions. I'm so used to playing versus random. Random has become such a staple in Kane's Wrath. Everyone picks it whenever they want to play 1v1, but predetermined matchups are better. You can make more informed decisions early on, like what scouts you're going to build, if you're going to rush or not. There's less risk involved if you're going for some early game strategy. Plus I know since he's Black Hand this game, I don't need to send 2 riflemen to defend my engineer against a possible buzzer interception. That's one of the examples of selecting factions being more ideal. Anyways, this is a great map made by Green Zero. Speaking of, I've heard he's going to make a return soon. He has some awesome news to share. He may have already shared it on his channel. I saw he uploaded or posted something on his channel, but I can't remember what it was again. I don't want to say something that I shouldn't, but I know that he does intend to make a comeback. I'm going to do some scouting here. I'm not going to go for a pitbull after my 3rd harvester, which is what I do here if I'm anti-scouted. I can see just enough into his base to know what's coming my way. I see an operations center. He's going for a flame tank. I can squeeze out a 4th harvester. There's probably a flame tank already out on this map. Going towards my bottom Tiberium spike, I'm going to rally the first of the Predator tanks to my bottom tip spike, since no doubt he's intending to burn down my Tiberium spikes. That's $20 a second. You multiply that by 60, that's over 1 grand a minute. That's a Predator tank every minute if you maintain control over those spikes, which is significant the longer this game goes on. Now he's going to be briefly behind due to that flame rush, but if he can get both of my spikes, then he'll quickly be able to recover his eco and be on a level footing. But I'm not going to stand around and let him go for this flame rush. I'm going to immediately sell my MSV and go for Predator tanks. Predator tanks, you're wondering why I'm spamming them. Well, I have something in mind, which you're going to see soon. I'm going to get a couple more of them out though before I reveal my trump card. The V35 Ox garrisoned with the engineer inside will be heading towards his Tyrannus, but I'm going to see if I can capture that, level the playing field as far as Spike is concerned. I got 1 Orca, just the one. That's going to deny his Reckoner from deploying in my base. Going for more hammerheads, and now here is what I intended to do all along. I'm going for V35 Predator tanks. I've got 5 of them up in the air, and they are super fast, way faster than if these Predator tanks were to make it on their tank treads towards his base. I see a 2nd war factory. Hammerhead comes out there, gonna just about save that Tyrannus spike, and now these Predator tanks are gonna find some resistance in the form of these attack bikes and gonna land them immediately as soon as possible. Flame tank does make it back to base. He's gonna target the V35 with the flame tank. V35 getting really low on health. That Predator tank just about able to land. And how often do you see strategies like this? This is the perfect way to counter a flame tank, in my opinion. I've had a lot of success with this, but the game is certainly not over since he does have 2 war factories. I don't have reinforcements coming in. I've only got those bloodhounds coming in, 2 orcas, but one of them is going to be sniped down immediately. Those orcas not achieving too much after getting that Reckoner. The orcas haven't been really doing much for me. There's a hammerhead above just in case he builds infantry. I can camp the Hand of Nods, but he's selling Hands of Nods onto my Predator tanks. The ball can do huge damage by taking out the last of my units in the air. Hammerhead needs to get out of there. Can't afford to throw away more units. My army is whittling down in size. We're going to plant down these mines with these APCs, do as much as I can with the forces. The Scorpion tank that spawns from his war factory here will be taking that mine damage. He had no way to avoid that. Just 2 Predator tanks and 2 pitbulls for me to hold back this force of Scorpion tanks. His eco hasn't been taking damage. There's the laser turret, and I'm going to be forced back here. I could have suicided everything into his base and called the GG, but I'm going to fight on. I'm going to see what I can achieve here. He's got the MCV out. I am without an MCV, so as far as MCV is versus no MCV, he has an advantage. I'm going to target down these Scorpion tanks before those bikes respond. I'm going to switch targets, aim those bikes. Orcas do kill bikes rather effectively, but it's hard to aim them down individually since they are so small. Clicking on bikes is very, very hard. But if you could, in a game, force fire bikes 100% of the time with your Orcas without any overkill, they'd be amazing in that situation. I've got an airfield, full deck of Orcas. I'm going to target this MCV. He's probably going to be building infantry behind this. Blackhand can transition into infantry. There's a lot of bike buggy heading towards me. Orca Strike comes down on that MCV. Orca's refilled, ready to go once again, but they're going to be of limited use since there are so many bike buggies out on this map. Rig almost not able to deploy there with the shredder turret blocking it. I'm going to get that full health deploy. Rigs have a ton of rocket damage armor, so they're going to be able to resist these bikes very effectively. Hand on the ball comes down. I just about dodged that. I have to be looking at my forces at all times. One micro mistake and I can lose the game in an instant, in a heartbeat. There is a flame tank though in my base, burning down my refinery and taking out my command post. Command post is no more. I can no longer build another rig. That ref will be falling, but it's not a big deal me losing one refinery as long as I clean up this flame tank. Now if I lose a second rift, that is devastating since I won't have, well, I'll barely have enough to rebuild it. There's a ton of bike buggy. He's got lots of them. He's going to engage this rig. I've got Orcas flying overhead. What I'm going to do here is assign all these Orcas into individual groups so I can target down these bikes individually. In fact, I'm right-clicking them off. I've got 4 bikes with those Orcas, just filling out this force since he's focusing on the rig. The Orcas could be safe to engage. I'm going to get another 2 bikes here. This is mostly to prevent my harvesters at my expansion from being destroyed. I'm working on a refinery. I'm soon going to get that ref down. I'm 3/4 away there from getting that refinery. Orca gonna go back. 5 predator tanks. That's crucial in a low eco game such as this. Every unit counts. There's a harvester there. I don't get that back to work. I don't want to sell this refinery since I still have an Orca that could, well, I no longer have it. He focuses it down. The bike's heading towards my expansion. Now I'm going to plant down some watchtowers. Now, without AP armor, they're not too strong, but they're going to be enough, I think, especially with the hammerhead. Fighting with very little forces at the moment. Just the scraps that I had earlier. Both of us have set a refinery on our expansion fields. Hammerhead is coming in though to stop him from building up this rocket force. Now as Blackhand he can transition quickly to infantry, so me preventing him from getting rockets out is crucial in this point in time. Hammerhead though will end the day of that rocket transition. The harvester is in jeopardy. It's going to get targeted. More hand of nods being sold onto those predator tanks. My expansion is going to be looking good with that second refinery set, and my opponent here is in deep trouble. He lost his refinery. He's not harvesting from his expansion. I've taken his spike. Remember, I used the V35 earlier in the beginning of this game to grab that Tiberium spike from him, and I'm going to force these harvesters off of this field. He could be long leeching from the field on the right hand side. He's not wanting to give in. For all he knows, I could still be all in. He probably didn't even know that I was all in. And the MCV is still around. If I were him, I would sell it at this point. But it looks like he's going to call the GG. And that is going to be it on the map. Hamster guns. The V35 Predator counterattack working out. I used it to combat the flame rush. The Orca, that one singular Orca was able to stop the Reckoner from just baiting me around and forcing me to overspend. Sure, I did overspend, but the units I built were later used to harass him with. Predator tanks, yeah, I made 6 or 7 there, but look what they accomplished afterwards. They went into his harvester line and took out a lot of those Scorpion tanks. Not necessarily harvesters, but it did force him to spend most of his economy on defense, otherwise he would have been overwhelmed. And with the hammerheads, above, it was difficult to transition to infantry. Anyways, guys, hope you all enjoyed that game. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. And before I go, I'd like to thank my Patreon members for keeping me going and supporting this channel and game, me with the R22 updates. In the Easter time, I will be making R23 when the dust settles and EA has some conclusion to their patching. I'm looking to get an answer from CC Hyper if they're going to be doing some patch in the near term future, because I'd like to know these things before dedicating time and effort of my own to you know, patching when they could be doing the same. Anyways, guys, this is it from me, Master Leaf, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.